Okay, I'm
I don't know
recording
how to do
my
that,
audio
but-
now, but the problem is that I think my mic can slightly pick up on what you guys are saying, so it'll be a little difficult. But
I'm sure
We'll
it'll be
see.
we'll just
fine.
go with it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
So, Solo.
All right, wait. First. Clap, sync. 3, 2, 1.
Sure.
That works.
So, Solo.
Solo. So do we have to give a proper introduction to the podcast?
If you want.
Hey guys, welcome.
Guys,
we're gonna talk about.
Who are the
Solo?
guys here?
I mean, okay.
It's me.
Well,
I'm the
hello,
guy.
viewers. We're gonna talk
Viewers.
about Solo, and we're gonna be
Viewers.
talking about all the spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, please go watch it. It's a really good
Han Solo
movie, in my
dies.
opinion.
Yeah, of course, we all
Joseph?
knew that, but
Come on.
it's a,
I am.
a
I
good
am
prequel
Joseph.
always kills the main character.
I'm the
obviously,
cat with
so-
glasses. I am Joseph. Hello.
Oh, hi, and I'm Ian. I'm the book with the sword. Sword
And
with
I'm
the book,
Eric.
one of the two.
And I'm
The lore
Eric.
master. Oh.
Has a box with a cloud coming out of it.
Yeah.
So now that we're all properly introduced, probably the worst way possible.
Yep.
Worst intro in podcast history. Now we can actually talk about some stuff.
Yes.
So I want to get
Yeah.
y'all's raw input because I saw it 2 nights ago now.
Mhm.
But you guys just saw it, so I'm interested to hear all of y'all's gush.
Okay.
Well,
Ian, you want to go first? Actually.
sure. I really enjoyed it. That was it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. When I first heard about it, of course, I was like, "Oh, okay." And then after you had seen it and you said it was really good, I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, if Eric
Yeah.
says it's good, then that's
Yeah.
Then
like,
that's
questionable because
yeah,
honestly,
nothing to go by at all.
your taste in movies is very strange. Honestly, sorry, but it's the truth.
Don't worry. No harm
not
taken.
bad.
Look,
Just strange.
Yeah, it's just
I-
strange.
I pride my taste in video games above all else. Nice icon.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. Ooh.
But my taste in movies and music, honestly, is abysmal. I wouldn't recommend half the movies I watch and enjoy to anybody else. But
I mean, I like the Warcraft movie, but
I can
I did too.
I can separate my enjoyment of a movie away from the objectivity of a movie, like it goes objectively a good movie.
Yeah, you can separate your personal preference from the quality.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just generally, I would say I was thrilled throughout. There wasn't a part where I was just like, oh, okay, let's just forget that happened. For most of it, I was like, this is actually really interesting and good gracious, I like a good heist movie. Yep,
Yeah.
that's my quick take.
For me, it
Non-spoiler.
felt a little long. I did enjoy it, and it was about as good as I thought it would be. I wasn't.
You've revealed so much.
I wasn't expecting it to be amazing. I wasn't expecting it to be wholly awful. I thought that it was just gonna be just okay, and I think it's okay. And I enjoyed myself, although, just to jump right in about things that I didn't like, I'm sure I'll have a few more things I don't like, but my initial reaction, I have a couple of nitpicks, so these are like, whatever. These aren't actual flaws with the movie, or they might be, I don't know. But these are...
Wait. I want to get out my preliminary
Oh, okay.
thoughts out there real quick.
Yeah.
So,
You go first.
I've had a little bit of time to be able to like stew on it and stuff like that. But initial watching, I was definitely thrilled. I remember I wasn't hyped for the movie at all. Like I watched the trailer before I went to the movie, of course, and like I got hyped then because I'm going to go see a Star Wars movie, but because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. But like I when I first heard about Solo, just hearing all the news and stuff about it, I was like, yeah, that's cool. Seems like it'll be alright, I hope they don't screw up Solo's character too much or whatever. But upon seeing it and watching it, I was like, wow, that was a lot better than I expected. And I would say that I think I left that theater more satisfied with Solo than I did with Rogue One whenever I watched that.
Yes, same.
Mm,
Speaking
yeah.
as someone who does like Rogue One, I liked Solo better than Rogue One, and I think it is a better movie than Rogue One as well.
I think they took to heart a lot of the critique from Rogue One. Honestly, I think that was a good
So
thing that they
what are
did.
your nitpicks, Jason?
Oh yeah. So my nitpicks are a couple of lines in the movie and a couple of things about it that just kind of, I don't know. Like even initially when they first came up, I was like, whatever. So first was during the first heist when they're trying to get that train, when four-armed monkey dude, whose name I already forgot, because he was kind of a one-note character. When Han takes the reins of the ship, he's like, "You were right. You are a great pilot." I'm like, he didn't do anything though.
Yeah, he's steadying.
Yeah, he's just
the ship.
keeping the ship. He hasn't done anything spectacular yet.
But he flipped all those switches, Joe.
Oh yeah, damn, you're right.
He knew how to
No
do
normal
the
pilot
switch
could do
thing.
that.
And he sat in the chair really cool.
When Chewbacca introduced himself to Han, and then he's like, "Chewbacca, I'm gonna give you a nickname." I'm like, that felt so forced. I was like, that's not how nicknames work. They just happen organically, or like they just like, you could have just had him call him a bunch of different names and then eventually arrive to Chewie. I felt like that line was like so hammy and dumb.
They did kind of force that in there, and I didn't care for how that line was like kind of delivered and all that.
Yeah,
Because
right.
just, I don't know, I feel like in general, like you need to have respect of somebody's name, like regardless of how weird or long it is, unless they kind of give you a nickname out the gate.
Yeah.
So I think just that kind of put Han in a bit of a harsh light. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna bother, saying Chewbacca's name every time. I'm just gonna call him Chewie, and that's how it went. It's like that.
Well, for me, it's more like the writer is winking at the audience too harsh. It's like a big wink, and it's like, oh yeah, all right, we get it. Yes, we know that he calls him Chewie. You don't have to like. I feel like they didn't even need to make that a scene. Like that was a pointless scene and a pointless line. Discussing Solo. Next, girl character whose name I forgot because she's kind of forgettable to me. Yeah, where they're talking about Lando. She's like, I know a guy, and then when they get there, she's like doubtful, like, oh no, you'll never get his ship. And then I'm just thinking like, well then why did you bring it up?
Well, go ahead, Ian.
I think that she was saying that you'll never get his ship from the card game, right? You can't. That he wouldn't be able to buy his ship or get his ship. She already knew that if she just asked, he would have been in on it.
Oh, well then why didn't she?
Because she was indulging Han.
Sure.
I think,
all right.
That,
I think
that's
her
their
whole
personality
thing,
together.
her whole thing is like, I will lead this horse to water, but the water's caged, or like there's a grate behind it or whatever.
And I have
so
the key,
I'm just...
but
Oh well, no, because didn't it come down to what's his name? God, I forgot the dude's name already.
oh yeah, fucking
Starts with
Beckett?
a T.
Beckett.
Beckett.
yeah.
Yeah.
His
It
first
came
name
down to
starts with a
Beckett
T.
actually talking to Lando before Lando actually conceded.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Lando said he was in, but he wanted the cut of 50. It was Beckett bringing him down that got him like he was ready to do it. He just was getting too big of a cut.
But of course, keep in mind these are nitpicks, and they don't affect my view of the movie. It's just like in the moment, I was like, ugh.
No, that's understood from the nitpick in general.
Yeah, two more. The 3-year jump was kind of pointless. I feel like it could have been just like a couple of months, or like just like less.
They needed a little bit more time for what's her
Kira
name, Kira, to kind of get
established in
the Red Dawn Society or
Crimson
whatever
Red Dawn.
faction.
I guess so.
To get her to like a position of power that she had, because if she was in wherever she was in just a few months span, then it would have been a little bit unbelievable in my book.
Yeah, she was the lieutenant, second in command of everything, and then
I think that's fair.
And it also, in that time, Han was supposedly at the academy or whatever.
he got kicked out.
Which I would have
He
liked
got
to
kicked
see.
out.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't have. I feel
No.
like that would have been fairly mundane and just Han being Han or whatever in a boring environment.
Well, just
I'd rather
make
him
it a
out
TV
there
show.
exploring and stuff.
Right.
The new spin-off TV show, Han at the Academy.
Han at the
Han at the
Academy.
Academy.
My main problem is just that Han doesn't really change in the 3 years, despite the fact that he is essentially a stormtrooper in those 3 years. But
Yeah. I mean,
but-
I wouldn't expect him to change much in 3 years. I don't think he even changed too much over the course of the movie.
in a war, though, I don't know. That's just me, though.
I don't think he was actually out on the. I think that might have been his first excursion on the front line, to be completely
You think
honest.
so? Oh,
Yeah, just from how he was acting.
reverse nitpick, as in a small thing I liked. The Mud Troopers outfits were super cool, in my
Like,
opinion. The whatever outfits his platoon was wearing while they were kind of fighting it out on that mud planet.
Oh yeah, it was pretty neat.
I liked the cloth and the cloaks and the goggles. Those were pretty neat. And my final
Yes.
nitpick is they made a big deal out of the reveal of the Marauder leader, and and then I'm like, wait, are we supposed to know who this person is?
Yeah.
The answer is no, you're not.
No.
And that's what left everybody confused.
Yeah.
including me.
Like,
I thought the
They
They
same
could have just
thing. I was
had her
like,
remove her helmet real nonchalantly instead of having the music swell and then like ba 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 and then a big pan. It's like what?
I was like, wait,
Alternatively,
is this a Rebels character that
Yeah.
I'm supposed to know?
alternatively, she could have been one of the people from Corellia, which would have made it a lot more powerful of a scene,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
Han would actually be able to recognize her.
Like,
somewhat.
wait,
Yeah,
what?
at first I was like, oh, she's English. She has an English accent. Is she Beckett's secret daughter or something?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but then it's like, no, she's just like another rebel.
The
So,
beginnings of the Rebels.
Yeah,
or
those are my nitpicks.
I don't know if I have any like nitpicks I can call to mind, other than I agree with a couple of the ones that you were talking about.
Just a couple of them. The other ones are stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew why she was saying what she said in that one thing. No, but I guess that the biggest kind of nitpick that I had was that once again, trailers were misleading, And I know that they do that on purpose and
Yeah.
whatever, but like there were several lines in trailers that were not in the movie, several things that I was just like, oh, come on, what? They took that out or something? Like it's fine, we're fine. It's all fine.
Yeah.
That was not in the movie, and I was like, oh, come on, I like that in the trailer.
I have a rebuttal for that. I liked that line was not in the movie because because I like that the comedy in this movie is not trying to ape Marvel, which I think a lot of movies have
That's
been trying
true.
to do. And
Sure.
the whole Marvel style of let's stop everything to have this joke, which they even did in Infinity War a couple of times.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Which
Spoilers,
just,
there's
like,
jokes in Infinity War.
yeah. No, I'm fine with jokes and I'm fine with comedy. I'm just like tired and kind of annoyed at whenever it stops everything and it's like, oh, let's have this joke and kind of break up the moment in this
Yeah.
non-comedy. Like there can
Yeah,
be comedy in a movie,
I understand.
but it's not a comedy and you're like literally it's like you're trying to have a Deadpool moment, which you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like,
And I
counter, rebuttal, butt-buttle, is that I watched the trailer, like, twice, and honestly, I couldn't even remember half the trailer.
Right.
So, like, I just didn't let myself get super hyped up like I did for Rogue One and,
Right.
like, be disappointed. I was just like, you know what? I just watched it to get a general idea of the style of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, yeah, the trailer is a little bit misleading, but I think it was misleading only for me. In a way that I thought it was going to be a heist movie, and while it is by definition a heist movie, it didn't feel like a heist movie. It felt like a Star Wars movie, and that's what made me happy. Because
I mean, yeah, I agree. It definitely did feel like a Star Wars movie.
so what Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just definitely felt the heist throughout it. But I don't know. I thought it was a good mix of the two.
I was gonna say it's a mix of the two. It's because it's not a full blown heist movie. Because although they do heisting, part of a heist movie is seeing them plan and like having the plan go throughout and like seeing how their plan works out. Which there was not a lot, or doesn't, which there was not a lot of in this movie. And it was just, characters in this world and like exploring the parts of the world in the galaxy, which is very Star Wars. Just being matter of fact about different, like, these weird things. And, it's like, this alien is here. We don't have to explain a big old backstory about it. He's just there, and that's a very Star Wars thing to do, and they did that a lot.
I mean to say that I felt okay. So I was originally very disappointed with Rogue One because it was advertised and like it was hyped up as a gritty war movie, but it ended up being a heist movie, which is fine. And it was like it's still objectively a pretty good movie, and I enjoy it now. But it was just disappointing for me to go into the theater, and I was just like, this is basically a bog standard heist movie with some Star Wars characters slapped on top of it, which then they slapped off of it very, very quickly.
Which the heist only took like 1/8 of the movie as well. Like the infiltrating the stormtrooper base was like the very end of the movie, pretty much.
Yeah, but like I felt like the entire movie was leading to that because that's what the movie was about, was stealing the Death Star plans. But I was under the impression that the original direction of the movie was more of a it was going to be a gritty war movie, and then like people would get trapped on the other side of the fence basically, and they would just kind of make the most of their predicament and steal the Death Star plans that way. What turned out to be was just, hey, we have this plot to go take the plans.
Yeah.
So it was just, I don't know. I felt that was disappointing. And then when I saw this, I was like, okay, this seems like it's trying to be a heist movie, which is what Rogue One basically was. So I was just I was slightly disappointed with that. But then when I watched it, I was like, this doesn't feel as much of a heist movie as Rogue One did. And I say that only because it didn't feel like it was building up to the final heist.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair.
I feel like it was just kind of, it was a string of events that ended up in a heist because of whatever situation Solo ended up in because of him being himself.
You mean 3 heists? There were 3 heists in the movie.
Yes, there were 3.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the ultimate goal in the end was to get the money and like get out of there.
Yeah, and survive.
But like each of the 3 heists were different in their own way of going about that.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like the first heist was leading to the second because it was we were under the impression that the first / second / third heist were going to be the last heist. Like once you made it, That's it.
You could also use that to explain the plot of GTA 5. All right, this is the last one. I'm pulling you out of the game. This is the last one. All right, this is the last one I'm doing, and then I'm done, says Michael, who then does another heist and robs another bank.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with Ian. The trailers were misleading, and of course there were lines that were cut.
But it
I
wasn't
also
for
don't
the
think
worst,
it was.
like
Yeah,
Rogue
it wasn't
One.
for the worst.
Yeah.
I don't feel.
I agree.
So
I think that also has to do with, to contrast against Rogue One again, Solo is much more character-driven than Rogue One.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
I felt more like empathy for that one pilot dude for his like 10 minutes of screen time than I did Blaze for like the 2 hours he was on screen.
Yep. Blaze.
And the
Blaze was the guy
Blaze was the heavy weapons guy from Rogue One.
I
the
didn't
one that
even
was
know
with
his
Chirrut.
name was Blaze.
Yep. See? I mean, I don't know the pilot's name, but I felt more for him and his 4 arms and his wacky personality.
Yeah.
Also, Val, the girl who was Beckett's lover, wife, something.
Yeah, something like that. Oh my gosh, I knew it was gonna happen.
I was kind of
the
indifferent
entire time.
about them.
I was
I definitely like them more than the Rogue One characters, except for the robot from Rogue One because he's awesome.
Of course.
Oh yeah, K2SO.
Yeah.
Yeah, K2SO.
I like them more, but that doesn't mean I like them very much because they were both very one note to me.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. They were one note, but like, I still like them.
That's fine.
I felt like they had even though it was one note, it was like a noise rather than just kind of a hum,
Yeah.
which the other
That's okay.
Rogue One characters were.
It just makes you a filthy nerf herder. That's all.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of characters and characters that we liked more or less than Rogue One characters, I think that they did Lando really well in this.
Oh my god,
I like
Lando was
Goodness
great.
I loved him the entire time.
Fantastic portrayal of the rivalry between two swindlers with Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man,
And also, like the first mate robot lady. I also really liked her.
I have a note right here.
Wasn't her name L3 or something?
L3, yeah. I have a
L3.
note right here. One of my reverse nitpicks. I don't know if there's a name for that. Of like something you liked, but maybe doesn't necessarily make the movie good. L3 is thick.
Oh yeah, she was. She's
The way she walked, I was like, oh, they made sure to animate her hips that way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like anytime she was fooling around with her wires and stuff, I was like, are we supposed to be looking at this? I feel like I'm violating her privacy here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think
God,
that's
I
what
love
they
her
were
character
going
so
for.
much.
Rebellion.
Yeah. And I think it's very fitting of a womanizer like Lando to have feelings for because Lando is I'm sure he's a pansexual who's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He gets all the tail, even the robotic one.
Even the robotic tail, because he's
Except
just
he
he's just
kinda
that
didn't.
much of a man's man.
Yep. Man, I loved L3's character. I can't say I loved it more than K2SO, but I think they're both on the same level.
Yeah.
Why do they do droids so good?
Yeah, that's actually something that I've noticed is that Star Wars has had like an excellent streak of droids.
Yeah.
Like you have the sassy trash can R2D2, then you have the goody two shoes, always by the book C3PO that just kind of gets dragged along and stuff, and the chemistry between him and R2 is fantastic. And then you have the adorable dog, the Robo Dog, which is BB-8.
Yeah.
And then you have Lord of Sarcasm, which is K2SO. And then you have I don't know how to define L3, but she is
sassy and like just sassy
just
mama.
really cool. Yeah.
Sassy mama. SJW.
She's a very independent
I'm
robot.
sure she's gonna make a lot of people upset and salty. I'm sure of it. Because of the whole like robot rights thing that she does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean like that was a good sequence. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, seeing all the droids just destroy
also
things.
because she has a beautiful British voice is also why I like her.
Congratulations, you're free. Get out of here.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Liberate your friends or something.
Exactly. Oh gosh, I just really liked that whole part, that whole segment was really good throughout.
The freeing of the laborers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and Chewie with the other Wookiees and stuff.
Yeah.
Had a chance to go home and then, or at least go with them.
That's some nice mini closure to what happened on Kashyyyk, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That there's Wookiees out there and they're struggling.
Yeah.
They're celebrating Life Day.
Yeah.
Every year.
Actually, that's something that I really liked about the movie, that it explained so many plot points with Solo later on. But they did it like pretty seamlessly, I'd say, like pretty concisely, because it explained why Chewie has a life debt to Han. It's because not only did he free him from the prison there, but they've been through so much for trying to get him, like wherever he needs to go, and eventually Chewie's just like, I'll just stick with this guy.
Yeah.
And they also explained, they also had the small nod to Han telling off Lando at first, and then like, come here, buddy, you know, kind of thing, because
parallels.
Lando does the same thing. And also just kind of his golden heart, you know, because like as rough and as like jagged as Han's exterior is, he countlessly proves himself to have a heart of gold.
Yeah, just like what Girl said, he is the good guy.
Yep.
As much as he doesn't like to admit it.
Yeah. I will say one of the things that I kind of rolled my eyes at whenever it happened was, oh, what's your name? Han.
Yeah.
What's your family? I don't have any. Okay, so I'm putting you down as Han Solo.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
I thought it was cheesy, but I also liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? You know what? It's no weirder than any of the other names that are out there, honestly.
True.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't. I don't know how I personally feel about it. I thought it'd be more fitting if Han gave himself that name because he thought it sounded cool.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, I'm Solo. I fly solo.
I mean, I feel like
I'm Han Solo.
that would be cringier though. I don't know. I kind of like that it was the Imperials that gave him that name, and then he proceeded to blow up all their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so two big things I want to talk about. Well, okay, one big thing and one medium thing that I'm like, hey, Han shot first.
Yeah, Han shot
Yes.
first. That was another thing. Han shot first.
So good.
Good.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was also a very defining moment for him that I love.
Mm-hmm.
That he's like, yeah, leading up to it too. I'm like, he could just shoot him right now, and then he does.
Yeah. Characters aren't stupid in this movie. That's what I love. There's not a single dumb character.
Yeah.
And I think I know what your big thing is.
Yeah.
Are we going to be talking about that scene?
Yeah, that scene.
Oh,
The
man.
big one.
Red face
The big
McSpikey.
boy. Spiky McSpikes.
God, I can't believe it.
Robo legs.
Not because of the fact that he's still alive, because I already knew that he was still alive, but the fact that they've actually made him canon again in the movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Because leading up to that scene, I like, you know, you only see the legs or whatever first whenever she's talking to him. And I was like, no way they put him back in here. Because I was like, that can't be Darth Vader's legs. And there's nobody else that I know that has robot legs like that.
I was running through my head. I was like, this is very Sith-like, but I don't know any Sith.
Any Siths with robot legs.
This could be like. And then they showed his weird CGI face, and then minor nitpick, his CGI face was really weird. I don't know why they didn't just put makeup on an actor, but
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice either. I thought that it was makeup on an actor.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also maybe wasn't paying much attention.
Does this mean that they're gonna have like a spin-off movie of whatever happens to Darth Maul?
Well,
or is he gonna be a
funny
part
that
of
you mentioned because the next movie is going to be an Obi-Wan movie.
Yes,
and
that's
then
what
the
I was
next
about to
movie
say.
after that is going to be a Boba Fett movie. Both of which could include Darth Maul, because Boba Fett was prominent even in the Clone Wars when Darth Maul was kind of still in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I encourage anybody out there who didn't know Darth Maul was alive, whenever, you know, they had the giant reveal, go watch some Clone Wars. His reveal in that one was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was
I
really
still need
good.
to
That's
do
what I'm
that.
curious about, is because they killed him in Rebels.
Right.
Spoiler.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
Are you actually watching Rebels?
I was gonna catch up with Clone Wars scene and then jump.
Sorry.
But it's okay. I mean, like, that kind of gives an idea of the timeline then.
So I don't know. Do they just retcon Rebels out?
Or is it
or
that
is it-
it's before?
They're just gonna like leave him alive and then just like, I'll get you next time, Obi-Wan, and then like
It might be more of a launching point as like a reintroduction to the canon for all the mainstream fans who don't watch like the cartoon stuff.
Mhm.
Just so that they could have their Obi-Wan movie or whatever, and their Boba Fett movie, and then go back and do a Darth Maul movie during like
Right.
after the events. and not so much a retelling of what happens in the Clone Wars as much as a kind of another thing that he could have been doing between Clone Wars and Rebels, or Clone Wars and Solo. So I don't know. It's funny because Star Wars, if you think about it, all the major events happen so quickly that it actually gives you a lot of room for other random things that can happen in between the time.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because the events of, what was it, A New Hope, happened probably in the span of a weekish, if that.
Right.
And like then like it was only a short few years later, in like a few days or whatever, that it was blown up again. So they have plenty of time to, you know, say, oh yeah, this totally could have happened in between there. And you know, honestly, I would believe it, because I kind of take a D&D stance with Star Wars movies, because I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, you start at this time. There's never really an indication how long it is between movies. So it's like, oh yeah, this is just kind of another instance thing that also happened. So anything that happened in between, you know, unless there's like a ton of stuff, I think would be fairly believable.
All right.
Because Star Wars is really good about not putting a hard date on stuff, except for this Solo thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3 years. But even that is 3 years that you can...
3 years is quite a long time, honestly.
I think the only movies that you can't possibly place something in between it and it still be like about the characters that are in the two movies would be Force Awakens and Last Jedi, because it's literally taking up immediately afterwards.
Yeah, that and also Rogue One and A New Hope.
And A New Hope, yeah.
Because like that ends with that.
Yep.
This is a diplomatic ship. I just saw you take those plans. I literally just saw you take them.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Also, I'm not going to be as awesome as I was when I was chopping up all those rebels.
Because I got tired, okay? I'm old.
Because I got tired, and this is also the 1970s, where choreography is not as amazing.
True. Yeah, overall, I think it was a solid movie, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
It was pretty cool. I mean, I like that they actually used parsecs correctly this time.
Some people are gonna be really mad about that they took a line and then made a whole movie out of it.
I just realized that you're correct.
Yeah.
Because like...
Because they had to have gone around the thing.
They took a shortcut. Oh my god, they're smart!
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
But
wow.
12 is rounding down.
They
12 rounding down.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was one thing, though.
What?
The fact that, like, okay, Chewie I can kind of understand, because you never see subtitles from Chewie, or any of the other like voiceless droids like R2. But like, there was one alien or two that I remember that Han was having like a fairly deep discussion with, and there was no subtitles, and we just had to pick up on context clues from it. I was like, Chewie's okay, R2's okay, but this, like, come on, man.
Yeah, the audience needs to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But that was one of the main things I had.
One of the scenes I really liked was whenever Han's flying, and then he's like, I need a co-pilot, and what's her name is like, oh, I got this. It sounds like I don't know what I'm doing, and then Chewie's just like, oh goodness gracious, and just starts doing all the things.
Oh,
and I was just like, yes, I was waiting for that.
You're 103. You look great.
109.
109.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He was in the Clone Wars, you know. He's covered wars,
well before.
He's covered wars. Apparently, Darth Maul was played by Ray Park, who was the stuntman who portrayed him originally in the first movie, and voiced by Sam Woodward, who voiced him in Clone Wars and Rebels. So they tried to keep the same actors as well as they could.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they couldn't cast Harrison Ford as young Han Solo because
Well,
Ford's done with the series. But
Ford is
whatever.
is like tired of everyone's shit. and
It's true.
and also there
Also-
not enough CGI in the world to make that not
Yeah,
look
could you
awkward.
imagine? It would just have looked like the entire movie. You'd be like, "Ooh, is this a cutscene?"
Admittedly, which I think it's fitting that towards the end, especially in the second round of gambling against Lando scene, he did start to shape up to look like young Harrison Ford towards the end.
Yeah,
At least
I
in,
think
in
that-
the lighting of the little jungle gambling.
yeah. I think that like at first, I was pretty nervous about the actor, but he sold it. I think in the end, it was pretty spot on as far as actors pretending to be younger
Yes.
versions of other actors.
Look-wise, though, I don't think,
Mm.
except for that like final scene, I don't think he really looks the part very much. I think his,
His face
is,
needed to
his
be
face is a
more-
little more squat than Harrison
Yeah.
Ford.
I didn't fall on it too much. I was like, yeah, this is young Hanlo.
Yeah, this is Hanlo.
I think, though, the best looking young character is Lando.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
Donald
goodness
Glover
gracious.
kills it. He
He
looks just as part.
Looks and
he
sounds
sounds like
Lando.
it too.
Yeah.
I was almost convinced that it was the same person. I was like, no, he's
Yeah.
old. But oh gosh, it was so good.
Yeah, Lando, amazing.
Yep.
The my cape. That's a special custom made. All of the capes in the closet of the Falcon. He
Yep.
was just like, yes,
I
Lando,
also
you go.
appreciate that L3 is in the ship now. There's a little bit more sentimental
Oh
value.
yeah,
Aw.
that's true. I wonder if they're gonna bring that up now in like episode 9 because the Falcon's still kicking.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't-
but
I
also
wouldn't
the only
think that they should.
I don't think they should, but like now
the
that
only
they
people
kind
who
of
would
opened it up,
know would be Chewie and Lando, and we don't know what's up with Lando in the newest
yeah,
series.
we haven't seen him since Cloud City. So.
Yeah.
I don't think they have to bring him back, really. I don't think he's...
Oh, can we talk about Chewie real quick? Because like, I don't know who was playing him or anything like that, or like how they made him look the way that he did, but like, he was, I for some reason I love the character.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Yes.
He like looks like a Wookiee should now, instead of just kind of a tall, imposing background character. Like, I felt like he had a lot more personality and impact in this movie than any of the other movies up
Yeah.
until Force Awakens, where he
Yeah.
had that moment.
He's I think he's a well-implemented sidekick in this movie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Whereas in Force Awakens, he was just kind of there because he has to be there.
Mhm.
Or not Force Awakens. Well, yes, Force Awakens and also Last Jedi.
I think like he had a little bit more in Force Awakens, but like Last Jedi, he was really kind of pushed to the side. Like he was just kind
Yes.
of bumming around the island most of the movie.
And you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna eat these pork.
In fact, I don't even remember what happened to him after the island.
Well, he was the one that like co-piloted it with Rey back to the
Oh, yeah.
place.
The salt planet,
Salt.
Salt.
not snow. It's different than Hoth.
This tastes like hardcore Star Wars fans.
Oh, salt.
I'm trying to think what else.
It was a good movie.
Unanswered question that it isn't really a big deal. We don't really know where Chewie gets his bowcaster.
He
That's
just
right.
picks
I don't
up
think he had it in
somewhere.
that.
No,
No.
he didn't. Which I thought was
It-
nice continuity and like made sense why he didn't have it because he was
Right.
He was
imprisoned.
a prison.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I wonder, like, did he just get
Maybe
it while they were
they-
working for Jabba at some point? I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably.
they
That-
pop
that
on
was
by
another
to
thing.
Kashyyyk.
That was another thing. They had an almost direct tie-in to kind of like tie up the loose end between Solo and A New Hope because they, like Beckett mentioned Jabba
Yeah.
on Tatooine. So Solo's probably been working for Jabba for a while now.
Yeah.
By the
most
time we see him
definitely.
again in Episode 4, so
Right.
Chewie probably got his bowcaster somewhere during that point.
Yeah.
They probably stopped in Kashyyyk at some point doing some weird job.
Yeah.
You picked it up and it was just like, memories.
Oh, what was? There was a really good insult that Han called Chewie at some point, like, you Kashyyyk something. I don't remember. You Kashyyyk
I don't know.
mud
I don't remember
ball
what you're
something.
talking about, but
I don't-
Also, shower bonding, always great.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
I liked that, like, whenever Han was first trying to speak Wookiee, he was like, oh! And it was just like, oh, goodness gracious. It's like, I know a few words, okay?
Yeah, that was actually really cool, because, like, we've never heard anybody else try to speak the alien tongue to that alien. They always say in basic to that alien, the alien would understand it, and then speak alien to them, and they would understand it.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first time we heard, like, an attempt at interspecies communication.
Which I think is a nice subtle character moment for Chewie, because who knows how long he's gone without speaking to someone similar, another one of his kind, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it worked so well, is because,
right.
like, it wasn't him just saying, hey, listen. It was him
'cause
going,
he's heard common, I guess, like
basic. Galactic basic, I think.
Yeah, galactic basic. From everyone, from the troopers, from whoever he might have run into, to finally hear Wookiee being told to him after all these years must have really been like, that's great. That's great writing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I liked when he tore the person's arms off in the elevator as well.
Oh yeah, another
torn off.
callback is that he tore a person's arm off, and he also, you know, like, wiped the table whenever they were playing the chess game.
Alien chess.
Alien chess.
He will never get good at that chess, will he?
No, he has to think ahead of himself, but he doesn't.
See, this movie did references right.
Yes. And there wasn't a cameo from R2D2 or C-3PO.
There was no
Pointless
cameos.
cameo.
There
That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Like, the only one you could call a cameo, if that, is Lando, but, like, he's kind of integral
One of the
to the
main
movie.
characters.
It's his ship. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking of the Millennium Falcon, I was like, wait, like when they first showed it, I was kind of doubling back on myself. I was like, wait,
that's not the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it's like it's shaped like it, but it's missing that gap in the middle. What? And then that
became a plot point.
Yeah. It was like, no wonder why. I was like, whoa, why are they admiring it? I thought it was a bucket of bolts. I thought people thought it looked ugly and trashy. And then sure enough,
That's
because it got ripped to shreds by not the Maw, but another alien.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, all right. Yeah, it makes sense.
There we go.
Also, can we talk about that alien's, like, skin and stuff being ripped off?
Oh my
whenever
gosh,
it
yeah. But it became bones, and I was like, look at that.
I was more amazed at the scale. Like that's like some
Lovecraftian
stuff. Like huge,
some Asimov.
Yeah, huge galactic monster that just lives in space.
Yeah.
Just like, I chilled this thing that kills literally anything else that steps in it.
That also, like, because it was so large and stuff like that, kind of gave you a sense of, like, danger levels. It's like, oh yeah, this thing is enormously huge, about planet size almost, or moon size at the very least. And yet the gravity well was infinitely more dangerous than that thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, you thought the giant creature was bad? Well, everything dies to that thing over there. So we might want to get away from it.
Even though the scene from Empire with the giant like snake that they're in,
the worm thing.
It's kind of pointless and like.
It's also a puppet.
I appreciate those scenes in the fact that it just like shows that there are just these kind of stuff in the world, you know, like showing that there are these things in this universe just kind of out there. And I think that's
I think that's also kind of cool because it's like, I mean, Han at that point now we know has dealt with something that large that could have eaten him before. It was just like, oh yeah, it'll fly away in the ship.
Fun fact, the name of the worm is called an exogorth.
Exogorth.
And apparently there are tons of them out there.
Great.
Oh, good. I like it. I like giant death space worms. Sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I think that's about it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's more to it that I can't really think of right now.
Well, yeah, there's probably tons more that we talk about, but I feel like we're just kind of harping on how the movie is.
Yeah. Which is I won't say it's a I think I said this already, but I won't say it's an amazing movie.
Right.
There was nothing that made me go, whoa, you know, like.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I mean, other than the reveal of.
I was about to say the
Maul.
Darth Maul reveal really made me go whoa and kind of like shot it up a good few points for me. But like aside from that, it was just like a really good movie.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, this is nice. I'm surprised how much they were able to fit as well. It felt like a dense movie. They did a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it never felt exhausting.
I can never think of a dull point in the movie.
Which is saying something, because it was a pretty long movie.
For as many action scenes as there were, I never felt like, okay, this is going on too long. This is like Driver or Drive Angry, I don't remember what it's called, or like Transformers movie.
Oh well, yeah. Like, that's one thing is like I feel like they nailed the pacing.
Absolutely.
Like they did an excellent job of pacing.
Yes. Pacing's always one of those weird things in movies that it's really hard to know whether or not it's going to be good pacing until you've watched it, and then you're like, yeah, that was pretty good.
In fact, how long is it? Like, it felt
it's
long, but it never
2
felt.
hours.
Okay, yeah, so it is a pretty long movie. It didn't feel like it was dragging though. I just like remember feeling like it was long. I don't know how to put it.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Damn.
There you go.
Actually, The Last Jedi is longer than that. That was 2.5 hours, and Infinity War was 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
So it was actually kind of on the short side considering those two movies.
Yeah.
That's true, I suppose.
Damn.
But it does feel like an exhausting movie because of all the action and stuff. But I can say that wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
most definitely.
Most definitely. Man, that's good. It's good. Hey, are we doing one of these things for E3?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do a like watch together podcast or maybe a recap podcast depending on how things work out.
Yeah.
So expect more of that in the future.
Yeah. Either or both.
Either or both.
As much as people can show up to.
Yeah. And like we just do this because we love talking about stuff. We figure, let's have some kind of public record of that, and other people could maybe enjoy.
Yes, we've done what, 2 of these already by now? 3,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think we've done. Yeah, because you guys did the Infinity War one, and then I had the one that I talked with Joseph.
Yeah.
About Marvel and Dark Souls.
Yeah, and the Dark Souls.
Oh, update on that actually. I finished Captain America: Winter Soldier,
Ooh.
and I can say it was objectively probably the best movie I've seen out of the
Yeah.
Marvel movies.
Damn.
But subjectively, I placed it third.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I like.
Which one are you on next?
I'm on Guardians of the Galaxy, which you better bet that's probably gonna be number 1 by the end of this, because God, I love that movie.
Watch. Yeah.
But yeah,
How long until Ultron?
well,
That'll be
after
a fun
Guardians
time.
is Ultron.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it goes. It's actually funny because like the 3 movies I haven't seen kind of hit in succession. So after Guardians, it goes Ultron, Ant-Man, and then Civil War.
Mhm.
However, I might go Guardians 1 and then go Guardians 2 since they're supposed to happen right after each other. But we'll see.
Yeah. And then after Civil War, you've got Black Panther and Spider-Man.
I've already seen Black Panther.
Oh, you've seen it. Okay.
Yeah, so literally after Civil War, the only one I haven't seen would have been Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Because I've seen Ragnarok and I've seen Black Panther. Both of those were absolutely fantastic. And I also seen Doctor Strange. That one's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So yeah, slowly but surely I'll be ready for Infinity War by the time it comes out on DVD in July.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Final word.
Blorb.
I got a.
That would probably be my
I
final word.
got a bad feeling about this.
No, I've got a good
I
feeling.
have a good feeling about this.
Yeah. I
My
don't want to be a
subversion.
problem proceeds to be the biggest problem in the galaxy.
Yes. Yeah, man, those betrayals on layers of betrayals. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was some good use of the never trust anyone thing. Which, actually, now I think about it, is that the message of the movie?
Don't trust
Don't
anyone.
trust anyone.
I don't know that the movie really had a message.
Yeah, I know
It's
not
just-
all
it's just
movies
telling
do
the
have
story
one,
of this
but if
guy.
I had to pick a message, that would be the one that actually stood out throughout.
Disney's perpetuating. Hey kids, don't trust anyone.
There we go.
You can talk
Sounds
to
like a
strangers
good
as long as
time.
you're willing to stab them in the back at any point.
Yes. I mean, I am.
No one is your friend. Don't trust anyone. People are predictable.
Well, that's it for the podcast. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
All right. I have also stopped recording.